Welcome, everyone, to episode 93 of the Phoenix Report. I am Jack Connor, and with me today is a guy who was one of my earliest guests, honestly, like way back almost
9 years ago.
Yeah, almost 9 years ago since when I first started doing this. And he's been on the show a handful of times if I've done movie reviews, and it's been a while since I've done like a proper one-on-one sit-down interview with this guy. And I know it's been a long time, and he's had a lot happen over the years, but he's in a new band now. Back in the game as far as, which you never really left, honestly. You've always been playing music, but now he's in a really cool band called Made from Stars, and he's going to tell us all about that in a little bit. Please welcome back my good buddy, Marko Bojkovic.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
All right. So yeah, man, this kind of worked out because as we record this, we're both in my house right now, just in person, not doing this via Skype. One of the few times I get to actually sit down face-to-face and actually record it this way, so that's fun. But you're in the studio right now with Made from Stars.
Kind of, sort of. Right now we're learning old material.
Okay.
Right now what Anthony Mara wants us to do is just learn some of the old material, and then once he feels he got it down tight enough, then we can enter the studio and record some new stuff.
Yeah, totally. So Made from Stars, you told me that this band has been around for a while. They've actually done some touring. Are they based in Tampa?
They are.
Okay. So how did this happen? How did you get involved with these dudes?
Well, Anthony Mara, who also goes by Antic Mara.
Okay.
He started working at Sam Ash Clearwater, which is sadly closing its doors soon.
I know, yeah. Sam Ash Clearwater, for those who don't know, it's a massive music store. It's been around for just forever. I've bought a ton of instruments there. I know this guy has too. Well, I guess I don't know if the company's going out of business or at least that store is closing down for whatever reason. It's which is that's too bad, but these things happen. But your buddy Anthony, he worked at Sam Ash for years.
He started working there in May of 2023 as the guitar tech.
Okay, so not quite as long.
Yeah. So what I did was
fairly recently.
I brought some of my guitars to him, and he did a hell of a good job fixing them. Now they play like new. Oh
wow! And he's been a guitar tech for a while. Obviously, his band Made from Stars has been around for a little bit.
They actually broke up for a little bit, and
oh really?
Yeah, but as he and I got to know each other a little bit better, and he saw me play more, he became interested in reforming Made from Stars.
Nice.
So he recruited me, and recruited his old bandmate Thane Taylor, who's another really great guitar player.
Okay, so is Anthony? Is he the guitar player in the band?
But he
also happens to be a guitar tech as well.
Yeah, and he's one of the three guitarists. The other two being me and Thane.
Oh, nice, nice.
He and Thane were in a band together back in the day.
Oh yeah, what band was that?
I forget what it's called. You'd have to ask them.
Oh, all right, well, I will do that. Yeah, but that's cool. So Made from Stars has been around for a bit. They've been touring, and you're recording with them now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How has that been going? Have you been doing any writing with them, or it's just mainly learning their old stuff at this point?
It's mostly learning their old stuff, but Thane and I recorded a few demos.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's one of those things. Especially if you're coming into an established band, like sometimes it takes a little while to get into that groove. Obviously, I know you're a patient guy, you're a considerate guy, so I think the longer you stick with it, eventually you'll find that sort of creative space, and there will be that trust in you.
That's right.
I've been in situations like that before, where it's like it took a little time to actually get some creative input in the band, but it can happen.
Yep.
So that's cool. So, and have we done any shows with them yet? With Made from Stars? So no live shows yet?
No. Anthony wants to do shows by the end of the year.
Okay.
Right now he's going through some stuff which I probably shouldn't talk about on here.
Fair enough. Yeah, we don't have to talk about anything you don't want to. But so you're recording with those guys now. You're learning their old stuff. Do they have a full lineup right now? Do they have a drummer? And
we are looking for a drummer, but we found a bassist.
Okay.
The bassist is Peter Tavaleris, and for those of you in the Tampa scene, you may remember Peter Tavaleris from the band Death Truck.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him or Death Truck, but that's good to know. So, all right. So you guys are in between drummers right now, but you got a bass player. So, but you can still obviously get a lot done recording at the moment, and
we can still learn.
Yeah, you can still like program drums and still have someone come in and play it later if you want. I definitely know how that goes. But that's cool. So you're looking at shows, by the end of the month, and by the end of the year. what I was saying. I'm talking too fast. I'm from the Northeast, Marco. I tend to talk a little faster than most people, but it's okay.
Hey, Serbian people talk faster than Northeast people.
Oh, really? I believe it.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't spent. I mean, you would know a lot more about that than I do. I haven't spent as many times with Serbian folks besides my buddy Matt Raspo. Shout out, Matt, if you're listening. But that's cool. But anyways, getting back to what you've been up to. So when did you start playing with these guys? It's been fairly recently when you started jamming with these guys.
I think I officially joined them in December of 2023 because that's when Anthony said that he was looking for musicians to join his band.
Got it. Okay, so it's been a couple months now.
So I want to add to that, and he wasn't even sure if he was going to name it Made from Stars. But, he loves that stuff so much, and he wanted to bring it back to life. So we decided to make it Made from Stars. We thought about changing the name, but we were like, no, let's keep it Made from Stars. Because they've toured the country, so if people see us again, they're going to be like, what? But once they see us as Made from Stars, they're going to be like, oh, Made from Stars, I remember them.
Exactly.
And I got to say, there is no better compliment you can receive than these 6 words. I want you in my band.
There you go. Yeah, it's always great to get that endorsement, for sure. So, but, I know you've been doing some band stuff here and there. You've mainly been doing a lot of recording on your own the last couple of years. I noticed that. And mainly a lot of it, from what I understand, is just you kind of working on your craft, kind of getting better as a player. And I mean, it's definitely. I mean, you were always a good player, but I remember just from when we first met, and just you didn't know anything about being in a band and stuff like that. So it's cool for me to see how far you've come and that you're doing stuff now and keeping at it.
Yeah, I actually put out an album almost 2 years ago now called Venom.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of instrumental stuff. I noticed that.
It's not entirely instrumental.
All right. Have you been singing on it?
No. Peter Tavaleris' bandmate from Death Truck, Chris, he sang on the songs.
Oh, cool. But you've been releasing it as a solo record, under your name? Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, all my solo stuff, I always release it under my name.
Nice. And
I thought about making my name maybe Marko Battleson, because that's what Bojkovic means. But I feel like if I did that, people would think I'm an Alex Lifeson wannabe.
I don't think anyone would think that. I mean, obviously you have a Serbian last name that a lot of people have a hard time spelling and pronouncing. So no one would blame you for changing it. But hey, it's your name. You can call yourself whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it works out pretty well. That is a good pull though. Alex Lifeson. It was like Zivanovic. Was that his real name? Something like that.
Yeah, Živojinovic.
There you go.
Say that 5 times fast.
I will not. So yeah. Something about you Canadian Serbian guitar players. I don't know what's going on with it.
I don't know. And now there's Nick Nocturnal.
Well, you're in good company. Then.
Oh wait, he's not in Canada anymore. Now he's in Florida.
Oh well, there you go.
And he's Serbian. His real name is Nick Popovic.
Well, there you go. So, but anyway, so I know you're excited about Made from Stars. Is that in terms of what goals you have with this band? Are you looking to necessarily? If they say, "Hey, Marco, we want to tour up and down the East Coast for a week or two or something," are you in a position to do that?
I'd love to do that.
Gotcha.
Touring's on my bucket list.
Gotcha. And yeah, because I mean, I ask you this obviously because I know that you've been looking at medical school and for a while. You've been looking to get into medical school, and obviously that's a very busy job to be in.
It is.
Especially when it comes to touring, and it's not necessarily always going to allow for that. But, I mean, I guess now since, you're in between schools and you're looking to do that, now would probably be the time if you do get that opportunity.
So if I don't get into anesthesiology assistant school this year, it's not too big of a deal. I just prefer to become one sooner rather than later.
Right. But in terms of touring, if that, now since you're in between schools and, don't necessarily have a wife and kid at home you need to provide for, so it's now would be a good time to take that chance if you do get that opportunity. So you never know. I think it's definitely, touring, depending on how much resources you have behind it, what kind of conditions you're in, it can be very cool. It could also be a little sketchy depending on who you're touring with, what kind of money you have, and if you can afford to, and that's something not a lot of people talk about. But
that mindset you told me about touring when I don't have a family to provide for, that's the kind of touring mindset that my buddy James Harper from Wirethorn has. James, if you're listening to this, shout out to you. You're the man.
All right, what's up, James? But yeah, so how so?
Well, he told me that I think he wants to have kids when he's 36, and when he's done touring, he wants to tour at least once with Wirethorn, and I think they can do it.
Gotcha.
I'm not a big death metal guy, but Wirethorn, I think, is one of the best death metal bands around.
Oh, there you go. And that's the thing about touring that not a lot of people talk about is how expensive it really is.
Yep.
I'll give you one example. I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to name what band he was in, but they got an offer to tour with a pretty big name, but they had to pay for it themselves, and like they had to buy onto this tour, and most people aren't going to talk about that, because for whatever reason, maybe there are NDAs involved or not, but he told me what the price was, and it's like you could have bought a car or for something like that. It's like it's in we're talking 5-6 figures here, and I guess you make it back through merchandise sales. Man, you're taking a big chance when you do things like that, and even when it comes to playing on these big festivals, and pay to play is a real thing. That is, it really is. That is real.
That's the new way of the world.
And it's not that new. It's actually been going around for a while. It's just people don't talk about it.
Oh yeah, that was my first gig with Particle Effect.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
2015.
I remember we talked quite about it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's been happening in the industry for years. That's how a lot of these records get played. That's a lot of how these tours get booked, and it's how a lot of people get on bigger festivals. It's like you have to buy into it, and the business knows that because everyone wants to be in the business. They want to be a rock star, but it's just weird to me how not as many people talk about it.
Yeah,
I think because they try and frame it like, oh well, if you're good enough, people should come out to your show, and people should be buying your stuff if you're that good. But it's just the reality of it is you have to spend a lot of that time promoting yourself, especially now, because you're not going to have A&R people who are putting the machine behind you. That's all done. Mm-hmm. So man, we kind of got off on a tangent there, but it's the truth, especially when it comes to touring and the music business. But I mean, obviously you're aware of a lot of this stuff now. You've been around long enough where you've seen a lot of it firsthand.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I know the last time we talked, you was back 9 years ago. I helped you get into your first band, Particle Effect, which is great. Those guys were buddies of mine for a long time.
Still the best band I was ever in. Kristen and Bill, shout out to you guys.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great dudes for sure. And I know since then you've been in and out of a couple other bands, and you've recorded at home. Doing a lot of your own stuff. Yeah. In terms of recording your own solo material at home, what's been the difference between doing it on your own versus going to a producer?
Well, going to a producer, you learn a lot more. I'm what I like to call an action learner. I learn by doing.
You're right.
And Johnny told me about this guy named James Lewis from Forerunner Records. Johnny, James, shout out to you guys. You're the men.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so James and I recorded my first album. Well, not my first professionally made album, Venom, together. And it got some traction.
That's good. That's good. I think things like that make all the difference in the world when you have a different set of ears in the studio.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this now. Venom is the reason I don't do instrumentals anymore.
Really?
I'll explain to you what I mean.
Okay.
Venom is by far my best instrumental. Venom is to me, in terms of instrumentals, as Blackbird is to Alter Bridge.
Okay.
They don't try to make a song better than that, so I'm not going to try to make an instrumental better than Venom.
Gotcha. In terms, and I'm actually glad you brought that up in terms of the instrumental stuff, because that's always been something I've been curious about when I meet guys like yourself who have done guitar instrumental records. Like you look at Satriani and Vi and things like that.
I saw those dudes.
That's awesome. And I mean, the thing about guitar instrumental albums and things like that, it's such a niche audience. It's such a very specific thing, And I was always curious what your approach is to that, like in terms of, I guess in terms of like when you're making an instrumental record, what is some of your main goals behind it? Like, what are you trying to convey a particular emotion?
Yeah.
Are you trying to do something like uber technical or like challenge yourself in that way? Like, what is some of your approach from some of your different records been?
In my earliest records, it was basically play the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
But Venom was different. It's actually play what you feel. Mm-hmm. And I'll admit, I was pretty angry when I wrote Venom.
Okay.
I don't want to go into the full details of
okay, yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know how much you want to get into. It
turned out to be really effective, and it made me to create my best instrumental ever.
That's cool. So,
which, fun fact about it, was the first song I ever did in an open tuning.
Okay.
The tuning I used for that is open B. Low to high on a 7th string, it's F sharp B, F sharp B, F sharp B, D sharp. That's one of the tunings that Devin Townsend uses.
Oh, okay, and that's like some lower, like genty type of stuff, right?
Yeah, Andrew Stout from A Pure Unbound, who was in the morning with Johnny Ray, he got me hooked on that. So, Andrew, thank you for doing that. Shout out to you. You're the man.
Right on. But so when it comes to instrumental records, do you? I mean, because I think there are a lot of guys who like to play as fast as they possibly can or as technical as they can, and I mean, and all that's great if you have the ability to do that, but I feel like sometimes it can be tough for the average person to listen to that. Yeah. It might be technically brilliant, but like it doesn't particularly sound good. And so I was curious what your approach to that sort of thing was as an instrumental guitarist. Do you prefer something more melodic? Do you prefer something more
something more melodic? Like, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Steve Vai and Satriani, they have like little themes that repeat throughout their songs. Did you notice that?
I have a little bit. Satch in particular is a very melodic, very bluesy player.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's like the king of the shredders, but it's but there are things that he plays that like you can find yourself humming along to it. Like, if you can play like a guitar solo that people can sing along to.
Yep.
Like look at Slash, for example. He is like the king of that. And I think a lot of times I feel like that connects a lot more than like doing something like Yngwie Malmsteen, who like plays Flight of the Bumblebee, no,
that's a great cat.
Or as
Yngwie Malmsteen plays
like Paganini.
Yeah, Paganini's Fifth Caprice in G minor.
Yeah,
that's it. Or is it G major? Oh no, it's C major. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, again, shout out to Yngwie. I mean, it's very impressive. Obviously, the guy has chops, but it just for me personally, it's hard for me to listen to that just because it's so fast and
Like Vai and Satch, Yngwie's music also has themes.
Really,
there's also melodies.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, you take Black Star, the da 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 da. He doesn't play that once. He plays that a couple of times.
Okay, so it's like a recurring theme. Almost like writing a movie score.
Yeah, and it sounds beautiful to a lot of people.
Gotcha. Speaking of that, has that something you've ever been interested in? Is in terms of like scoring, like making music for films, that sort of thing?
Not really.
No.
I would love to make music for video games, though. Even though I'm not a gamer anymore.
That makes sense. That makes sense because for as long as I've known you, you've been a really big video game fan. But I guess not so much anymore. What's going on with that?
Don't have time.
No. No. Just between studying and working and all that? I get that.
Going to the gym early in the morning, playing guitar, reading, cooking.
There you go. Yeah, that's cool, man. You've got a lot of very healthy interests, obviously, so that's good. But I mean, how does it feel now that you're in a band, or now that you have a band coming up, as opposed to recording on your own, recording your own stuff? Do you like being in a band more than being on your own?
I do. It gives me a new group of friends.
Yeah.
It gives me a group of people to talk to. But I haven't forsaken my solo stuff. I'm doing a new album.
Really?
The album's called Powercore.
Powercore?
Mm-hmm. Because I invented my own little genre of metal, progressive powercore. It's progressive metal, power metal, and metalcore all mashed into one.
Interesting.
With some hints of jazz fusion from classical music.
Okay.
Yep. And so for all of you, Trivium, Dream Theater, Iron Maiden, Avenged Sevenfold, Alter Bridge, Nevermore, Spirit Box, Periphery, Symphony X, Sabaton, and Firewind fans out there, wait till you hear this album.
By the way, I'm glad I'm not like typing this all down. He rattled off that list like crazy, like rapid fire.
I memorized it.
Well, I mean, like you said, I guess you Serbians are fast talkers, so there you go. So that's what it is. So, but that's cool, man. So, and like you said, you didn't want to do an instrumental record anymore. Who's going to come in and sing on it?
For some songs, Anthony Marr is going to sing on it.
Nice.
Yep. And I actually reached out to Chris from Death Trunk to sing on it.
Okay. Do you think you might have like a couple different singers who might want to come in on it? You know?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm here whenever you need me. So,
do you want to sing on it?
I'm sure. I would be happy to do it if you'll have me.
Heck yeah.
So okay, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Can you do screaming vocals?
Not very well, but I could try.
You don't have to.
Very cool. So that's awesome, man. So you have a lot of stuff going on right now.
I'll send you the song I Want You On.
Please do. Do you write lyrics?
Yes. Really? And for the first time, I'm actually writing good lyrics.
Really?
Yep. I finally know what it means to write lyrics from the heart.
Okay.
Like, I thought I had to come up with lyrics in my head, but no, like, I just felt the lyrics.
Okay.
I remember I was writing lyrics to one of my songs, and I wasn't thinking of them. I was feeling them.
Okay.
And in my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, write this down. This is good.
Okay. So what was the difference before? Like, what were you originally writing lyrics about?
Just personal struggles.
Okay.
Looking back on it, I feel like it was kind of a woe is me kind of thing, but I surpassed that. I overcame that.
Okay.
Now, these songs, they're more positive, and they're more about making the listener think and reflect.
Okay. Is there a particular theme you like to write lyrics about, or is it just kind of whatever comes out?
Whatever I'm feeling. I guess I
you.
have to pick one particular theme, and go ahead and call me cheesy, but it's love and kindness.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And
I'm a big fan of both love and kindness.
and I really don't think there are enough metal songs about that.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, I actually wrote a song about some friends of mine. Very special friends that got me through a rough time.
That's cool.
Yeah, my friends from nursing school. Nursing school friends, you guys all know who you are. Shout out to you. You're amazing.
We are dropping so many shout outs on this thing. It's crazy, but I love it. But that's great. So, that's. Do you sing at all?
A little bit. I don't think my voice is suitable for this because it's not really a power metal voice.
Okay.
And I can't really do screaming vocals well.
Gotcha. I was always curious about that because I know obviously guitar has been your main thing. I didn't know if have you ever taken voice lessons or anything like that, or is that something you even want to do?
Yes.
Oh.
But I didn't find them useful.
Okay.
And believe it or not, Pantera taught me more about singing. Seeing them live.
Really?
Through the course of I'm Broken, that taught me more about singing than 4 years of vocal lessons.
Really? How so?
Because when I saw Pantera live, I still can't believe I could say that. I'm still wrapping my head around that. Mm-hmm. I videotaped them doing the song I'm Broken. And I sang along with the chorus, but I felt like I was actually pushing out with my belly.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. This taught me a lot about singing.
Like that's I mean, those are some heavy duty vocals to carry over Phil Anselmo's because it's just so guttural. Mm-hmm. But that's cool, man. So yeah, who knows? Maybe on your own records you might. Is that something you might think about doing? Like some more singing on your own stuff? Maybe. Okay.
You got to work on it first a little bit.
Cool, man. That's good to know. So so obviously you're still going after med school. You're still going after the music thing full time.
Yep.
And that's awesome. So what else? What else has been going on as far as like any other projects you've been a part of? Any other have you ever done a guest spot on anyone else's record? Anything like that?
Well, there is one band that lost their guitar player that I'm hoping to recruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apeiron Bound.
Apeiron Bound?
Yeah. Apeiron is Greek for boundless.
Oh, and that's the name of the band?
Yeah, Apeiron Bound.
And they just lost a guitar player.
Yeah, that's Andrew Stout's band.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Andrew Stout. All right. Well, Andrew Stout, if you're listening, my man's coming after you. So just watch out for that.
He's considering me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, dude. Yeah, it's always good to catch up with you and just kind of figure out what you're doing. I'm glad that you're still going after it, and I'm glad you've come as far as you have. My little Marco's all grown up. It's fantastic.
You're like a big brother to me, Jack.
I appreciate it, buddy. But that's cool.
Thanks to St. Pete Catholic.
Exactly. Go Barons. Anyway, so where can the folks find? Does Made from Stars have stuff available online?
Yep.
Okay, so where can people find some of their stuff?
On Apple Music and Spotify, our albums are called The Nocturnal Sessions and Soundscape of a Dying World.
Cool, dude. All right, so check that out on all the platforms. Made from Stars, and look out for the next record whenever that comes out. And I know they're looking to do shows by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So that's cool, man. You'll have to let me know. Let me know when that's happening. I'll have to come out and catch that for sure. Thanks for coming in, dude.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks as always to Marko Bojkovic for coming back and kind of catching us up on what he's been up to, what's going on with Made from Stars. That's the thing about getting Marko in here. You never know what direction he and I are going to go in. That's the great thing about having a podcast too. It's not necessarily a strict interview. Like I'll have a few ideas about what I want to ask him, but kind of wherever the conversation goes, it goes. But that's the great thing about having guys like Marko in here because he's always got something to say. And it's cool to catch up with him. He's a great young guy, and I'm glad he's still getting some more experience out there. So it's pretty good. But thank you as always for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on X, Twitter, and Instagram at jackxconnor. You can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/jackconnormusic. Feel free to check out all my links in the description below. Feel free to email me or leave a comment. Hit like or leave a review wherever you get these podcasts from, whether it's on YouTube or any of the numerous podcast platforms that are there. Again, I thank you guys as always for listening. Go back, feel free to listen to some of the older episodes, some of the or maybe even the original episode that Marko was on. You never know. If you want to go back and check that out, you can. But thank you guys as always for tuning in. This has been the Phoenix Report. I'm Jack Connor. I'll catch you later.